jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
What's good? Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game. Salute to the first in the building. Carlos is on deck. What's good with it? I'm not talking about exactly what happened in the ring. You know what I'm saying? But it was a massacre, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know, it was a massacre. Hold on for a second, bro. So, once again, salute to Carlos. What happened in Brooklyn? The 420 massacre is what happened. It was a massacre, man. It was a lot to unpack. But listen, I don't want nobody getting confused earlier on what I was talking about. It was just a bit of frustration on my part because I remember it's just, you know, so many things. You know, you stand on something to fall for anything. You know what I'm saying? And when I feel it's absolutely mandatory for me to correct myself. All right? Because I don't want people to get it twisted. I have to correct myself in the irritation. You know what I'm saying? And certain things that go on the YTC, you just have to check yourself sometime. So earlier, I know I dipped off and started talking about what happened in Brooklyn. And then, you know, I was processing the whole thing. I was like, hey, if it's one person, this, that, and the other, right? And, you know, maybe my thought process was cluttered a bit. And people believe that I was up here defending Malachi. I wasn't defending him at all. Zero. I wasn't defending him. I was just thinking and speaking out loud about how I thought and assumed the process. That usually don't happen with me. But let me tell you, this is what I can say about what's been online about the situation. Everybody knows that at one point in time, he said he was sent to destroy the entire organization. Period. The entire organization. He was sent here specifically to do that. Then I mentioned the t-shirt. And then you heard me say to the point where, hey, why would you put yourself in a situation over a t-shirt? And that's because I wasn't even thinking about all the other shit until I start having a conversation with a colleague of mine. You know what I'm saying? A friend of mine, man. We start chopping it up. And he started breaking down some of the, you know, some of the reality, some of the conversation, some of the intel, and you know, everything started to click back on me, you know. And then some people was, you know, hit me in the inbox, talking about, you know, hey, you know, I don't know if you defending so and so, but that's not like you to do that because, you know, he been saying this, this, and this. And I didn't want nobody to think I was defending him. I wasn't defending him at all. But when I was speaking to my boy, right, he was refreshing my memory on a lot of shit. And I didn't want nobody to think that I was defending him just because it was the LDBC that he was in with it with. Listen, this man has been on record as saying a lot of things about the entire group, the whole group. He's winning 78. He's winning everybody over there in that group. And then I was speaking to my guy, right? You know, he was telling me that, you know, said this, and this. I said, you're right, he did. Everything he was telling me was true. This has been going on for a long time. But my mentality is like, you know, the group mentality. Certain people keep doing the same thing. So really, it wasn't even my place to even exert myself into that. I had nothing to do with me. I still feel the way I feel, though, about them two cats. But in this particular situation with the Weeknd, it wasn't my place to even insert myself into a situation that has nothing to do with me. Especially, it looks bad on me to even associate myself with that particular individual on how bad he done set up here and denigrated the entire group. A group that he's never been a part of. So we up here talking. He's saying, you remember, you know, when he was in Las Vegas and he was there antagonizing, you know, he was up there talking about where are the Wakandans. I said, you're right, man. And then we was talking about some other stuff that went on when, you know, I say, damn. I say, he right about a lot of that shit. And then he gave me some insight. You know, I'm thinking Bill was up there running a play to set that nigga up, right? And then you hear all this stuff online. And then when somebody that's close that communicate tell you something different, and then you up here putting puzzle pieces together. Okay, this right here. This. Then you start to say, you know what? That makes sense. Right? So I remember when he got off Vegas, right? I'm just doing my reaction. I'm just clearing up some stuff because I don't want people to think I'm defending someone who actually inserted himself in that situation. And if you're listening, you know you did. Don't have nothing to do. I'm not in it with you. You know what I'm saying? Into it with you. I'm just doing a reaction, brother. You know what I'm saying? That's it. So he reminded me, and I remember seeing it. And I don't know who you was taking shots at per se. You know, in some of the stuff you was doing. I don't know. I can't assume. I'm not gonna assume twice today. But when you got off, you definitely was identifying the Wakandans, and people who in the chat know that he was talking about that particular organization. You called them the Wakandas. And countless of other streams that you done said you would sit here specifically to destroy them, or however your words was, right? So now I'm thinking back to the incident. Now this is gonna be crazy, but I have to put it out there though. Even though he done had some you know some bullshit moments where you know he was on Drew's panel and Drew was talking shit about me. To my F your service, calling me a faggot, and 78 was right there with him listening. Wasn't correct him at all. But one thing I know from one point in time where I had a conversation with somebody I know about Drew, and 78 was on the line, and he did squash that shit. You know, we squashed that shit back then. So then it brought me to thinking when you know I was having this conversation. I remember that moment, and you know he wasn't an asshole about it either. You know he was just, you know, hey, this is this, so and so. You know, that's more so what I thought should have happened in this situation, because it wasn't no bullshit when we communicated over the phone through a third party. It wasn't no bullshit. But this right here was something like, okay, the leader speaking to the guy who wanted to destroy your organization. That's all it took. It didn't take the mob. But then, you know, when I was talking to my boy, that was just something, you know, that I should have just kept my distance. I was more so frustrated on the same people just being involved with situations like they want to hurt people all the time. I'm like, I just don't like bullies, for real. But staying on topic, This particular guy has made it a point to let everybody know that he was out to destroy that organization. He made it perfectly clear. He's sent here to destroy. And when he started bringing this up, shit, I say, man, you right. My mind was on something else. You right, man. When he got off recently in Las Vegas and he was like, where's the Wakandans at? You was pretty much antagonizing them there, Malachi. Real talk, bro. I'm just calling the way it is, man. Like I said, I'm not trying to throw any hot grease your way or nothing. I'm just doing a reaction, right? You said, where are the Wakandans, man? You said that on top of everything you had said before. You just didn't segregate or profile or have a problem with specific people in there. You had a problem with the entire group. Whoever was in there, you had a problem with. You have made it known for months and months and months you had a problem with the entire group. So when I'm looking at your live, I'm looking at people, I'm getting phone calls and all this other shit. It making it seem like that you're insinuating the bill set you up. I'm just gonna put it out there. That's what you was insinuating. The bill set you up. Then I'm hearing all this other stuff behind the scene. And the person I'm talking to, I trust them, man. I trust their word. And then now it's all making sense as to why that's not true. You know what I'm saying? That's possibly a lie that was fabricated by somebody. You know what I'm saying? That wanted to assume that was what, because I consider, Bill like an OG. I didn't think he would have to resort to that, but I felt some type of way if he did. It didn't matter if it was Malachi or not. It's just, you don't have to do that. If you're the leader of a group, you can just set it up. Hey, so-and-so right here, y'all want to meet and talk this out. That's usually the way it works. You know what I'm saying? Conversation, can lead to de-escalation. Remember that conversation can lead to de-escalation. That's always a healthier way. A ticket to the cemetery is free. But I was having a conversation, being told and reminded. I was like, damn, you're right. You're right about that. Damn, you're right. And it's a lot of people he done pissed off. But when this particular situation came up in the elevator and you said he was on the MLK shit, I'm like, what is this about? Because you say you're Muslim, but you saying 78 came in the elevator and he was on some MLK shit like it was wrong. But look, just the whole point of him being on some MLK stuff, that Malachi, was still a healthy way to basically attempt to circumvent everything you had said about that group leading up to that point. If he was on some MLK stuff and not some Malcolm X, I think you fared pretty well. Real talk. I think you fared pretty well, because I have to correct myself. Who am I to get involved in a situation like this when I'm not even defending the antagonist? I'm not defending Malachi. Malachi done said some shit about the LDBC forever and a day, bro. Forever and a day. So I can understand if they chose to mob up on you and press you. I can understand it. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't even my area to waste my energy on. I just felt some type of way about the format. That's all. I guess I'm looking at it from an older cat standpoint. That's just the wrong format, man. But looking back at everything and talking to my guy, it don't matter what format it was. It ain't none of my fucking business. Real talk. It's none of my business. If he came to you on some MLK stuff and he was trying to talk and say, hey, are we good? We got a problem? We don't. Because you said you was sent to destroy his entire organization, bro. I had to be reminded of everything, and the encapsulation of everything you said. And then, yeah, I felt some type of way if it was true what Bill said. But come to find out, it's not even like that. Somebody ain't telling the truth, man. Somebody ain't telling the truth. But if you came and you had an encounter and you say you got in the elevator and he was on some MLK stuff, I think that was pretty positive for somebody who's ahead of the organization. You say you want to destroy, and you've been calling the man Jabba the Hutt forever and a day. I've said some things about him. He sat up there and listened to people in his group criticize me that I never initially freaking, had no reason to engage any beef. So I did feel some type of way. But I have to say that in this particular situation, he was right. Based off every single thing that you done said about that group. And finally, you in New York, y'all together, y'all in the same footprint. Y'all in the same footprint. And they up here talking about they don't see you at the weigh-ins. They don't see you nowhere, this, that, and the other. He made a good point. Everything that you done said about the entire group, that was something that you had to stand on when you pretty much ran into the person that's in charge of the freaking group. Because you were throwing shots when you was in Vegas. Now you're not in Vegas, you in NY. He was right. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he came on some MLK, that was better than Malcolm X. That was better than Malcolm. And then even the brother, said, did you want to go get a drink? Like, for somebody to extend the olive branch like this, sometimes you just got to do a refresher and see who's really about the stupidity. I'm just being honest with you, Malachi. I'm not inserting myself in, but you said, you made it seem like, first of all, he came on some MLK shit. That was wrong. I don't know why you would feel some type of way about MLK when he practiced peace like you, Malcolm X, and you want to be all about the violence. That was your opportunity to be about the violence if you had a problem with him, come with the MLK angle, right? And then you said that he wanted to buy a drink. Listen, I can understand where you might have wanted to pass on that. I get it. You might want to pass on that. Me, I would have did the same thing. I'm not going to lie to you. Because if I don't know you like that, and I know we on some freaking beef shit, hey, people finesse people into situations, and you can have a drink and then find yourself in a whole nother predicament. So I can understand why you passed on that. But the whole point with him lending, him putting it out there for you, it was no punches thrown, bro. It was no punches thrown. So this what I can't understand, my brother, is that if you and him shook in the elevator, and the whole time you was mad thinking Bill, scheduled a room and all that to put him in the same hotel, and then the way this cat was breaking it down, like somebody else broke it down. I heard them say, well, maybe Bill was trying to get y'all to squash anything, even if he had any type of, hand in that. He was trying to get y'all to squash the beef, but putting you in the same hotel room or whatever. Because ain't nobody trying to get bailed over there in NYC. I'm gonna tell you that. Ain't nobody trying to get bailed out. But if that was the case, then that was even a positive stance, because I get the impression that Bill is fucking with Malachi, was fucking with him. I don't know what they got going on, because he was supporting Devin Haney pretty good. So I'm pretty sure he was on the team, but also on his team, he says LDBC or nothing. So you're going to have to deal with them one way or the other. So when it came down to who did what, I have to go with, what my guy told me. He pretty much said no. You know what I'm saying? No, he pretty much said no. Bill wasn't on that type of time. He also said, 78 didn't even know he was there until somebody, he was about to check in the hotel, until somebody told him to come over there. 13 said MLK, Malcolm X, is a bad analogy. I wasn't giving you an analogy. I'm just saying that Malcolm X was all about getting it done by all means necessary, while MLK presented peace. I mean, I'm not going to agree with you. You know, I mean, I'm not sure what you're getting at, but I don't feel no type of way. I wouldn't provide no analogy. But anyway, I have listened to all the taunting, you know what I'm saying, and all that. And if you're going to say that it was threats or they was going to get at you or whatever the case was, and they saying you didn't come out your room, this is the one time that I always freaking split it down the middle, right? This is the one time where I cannot blame a group of individuals, right? That you have taunted for a long time. When they feel some type of way about you having an LDBC killer shirt on, you're talking about the entire group. Now, this has nothing to do with the way I feel about like I said before, I'm trying to stay on topic without placing myself on the scene because I wasn't there. This has nothing to do with what I said earlier. All I'm saying is, several years ago, they saying you had on a shirt and you came onto the scene of YouTube and said you was sent here to absolutely target those individuals. That's what you said. You have made it your calling on phone calls, on your live streams to say the Wakandan. You know what I'm saying? You have identified the head of that organization as Jabba the Hutt. So therefore, if you have described this man as something that's off Star Wars, that look a certain way, when you saw him in the elevator and he came on some MLK shit, bro, you should have been happy. Because everything that you said about the entire organization, you should have been happy that was the energy and the temperature that was between y'all. Because that's a lot to unpack. Somebody been talking and talking and talking, criticizing, ridiculing, you know what I'm saying, denigrating you. Just being belligerent about the entire group that you're in charge of. And you go in there and you finally see them face to face in person. And you've been talking about the entire group was trash. You've been talking about they this, that, and the other. Malachi, you have to reassess this. You have to understand, brother. You have to understand the whole entire process, man. I'm not defending nobody. But this have to be a topic of the conversation that people are getting impressions about certain people. You know what I'm saying? They feel that everything that you said, you don't have any room to play victim. Which I agree, bro. I agree. You don't have any room to play victim. Like, once again, I reiterate, this is something I'm doing a reaction for. This is not my business. But brother, you have said so many things. And if by chance you felt some type of way that you didn't come out for the weigh-in and you say it was the principal because you thought they was going to be there, okay. But if you shook hands with them and then you went and got on Twitter and start talking about it again, why, bro? And then you get home and say you're gonna destroy them, you're gonna destroy them forever and a day. I'm asking myself, what was the purpose of getting back to Florida to destroy them though, if y'all shook hands? Because when I heard 78 said we shook hands. And I told my people, you know, if we shake hands, it's over. It's done with. And then they start sending him tweets of you going off on Twitter. So now they changed their mind. See, that right there, that's not the behavior that you would expect from someone who you just seen had an encounter with after talking all that. You know what I'm saying? Dropping all those obscenities, denigrating them. You know what I'm saying? Just speaking so malicious about your feelings, you know, pushing your narratives, right? You finally see him and supposedly y'all shake hands and everything was cool. I heard you say that too, Malachi. I heard 78 said y'all shook hands, but then turn around and jump on Twitter and you start dogging them out. It's almost like, I don't know, man. That's some pusillanimous type stuff right there. You know, you don't know what pusillanimous is. It's cowardice. It's a cowardly act. Because as men, you have to understand that the amount of time that was invested back and forth over and over again, and you criticizing them on live. This is not something WCS is making up, on live, and you see them in person. And let's just say they grouped up. Let's just say they got everybody with them, and they run into you. And it's just you. You talked about the whole group. You talked about the whole group. I mean, you always gonna have some hardcore members of the group, but you talked about the whole group. So if you had that moment where you ran into him, you said the whole group. You said the Wakandans. You said this, and this. So I'm just looking at it like this haven't just happened in the last 6 or 7 months. You said this forever and a day, man. It's been a long time when you've been going at him. So for you to finally see him, and you feel like Bill had not given you credentials, somebody who actually covered fights on the front line, he told me some real shit. He say, hey, Golden Boy operates differently, this, that, and the other. You know, they was kind of sketchy with handing out credentials to any, you know, people that was with Bill Haney and Devin. And I believe him. He told me about how Golden Boy is you know, does credentials prior to this fight. They was kind of sketchy here and there. So for them to be tight, and B-Hop is a part of that, and he don't like Bill Haney, I can see where he probably denied a lot of people credentials. I can see and understand, you know, because I know I've been at several fights when he was at those fights too. But brother, you saying you're gonna go at them from here to eternity. Once again, I reiterate, and this ain't none of my business, but I'm just saying, if it's general public, I'm just lightly speaking on it. You say you're going at them from here in eternity once you get back, but you had the opportunity for this to be squashed if he came to you in peace on some MLK stuff, but you leave, and I didn't see you get all, you know, loud and boisterous when you was on deck though, out there in NYC. I don't know what was going on. Like I said, I wasn't there. But I didn't hear you making a live stream. I just saw some tweets that was coming out. People was talking about it. And then you get home and then you talk about, I mean, you act like you're furious about what's being said and stuff. To be honest with you, I think he did a great job, man. From based off what you said, for the entire group, for that longevity of time, and what I was reminded of from my guy, you know, a good friend of mine that knows them cats. He reminded me of some stuff. You was antagonizing them in LA, bro. I mean, in Las Vegas. You were, man. I remember seeing it. You had got off, you was walking through the arena, and you was up there just sending shots to my where the Wakandans at. Where the Wakandans? Well, they was in NYC, bro. They was there. I can't be mad because if they want to roll in a pack, that ain't my shit. Because you did talk about the entire group. I can't be mad because they wanted to roll in a pack now. That's where I have to fall back and digress. Because that ain't a situation where my analytics, I should have put more lens and zoomed in a little bit closer when I was multitasking. But, you know, when I had this conversation, he did make some solid points that you was responsible for. Now, I know behind the scenes, you can say what you want to say, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is not any smoke coming from my way. But if I heard you say that he was on some MLK shit, so that tells me that you think that he was feeling some type of way of being fearful, that he was trying to come on some peaceful stuff. Isn't that what we was trying to do? I mean, as people, they always talk about black people. You hear me talk about the lack of peace between us as a people all the fucking time, right? But you talked about it as if it was wrong, man, and you're Muslim, bro. You say you're Muslim, but you got mad because he was coming on some MLK stuff. So I'm imagine he came at you and said, hey, we good? We good? Is there an issue or what? And it was some peaceful shit. I think that was the right way how to do it. See, that's what people end up on the wrong side of life, the afterlife, because when we come on some peaceful stuff, people say, "Oh man, we was freaking cowering. We was bucking down, and you didn't want no smoke and all that." And then somebody got to return and say, "Okay, they think I don't want to smoke. I was just on my peacekeeping mission. I was just on some peaceful stuff. I was all about de-escalation." But then you get people to say, you were scared. You just got to learn how to digest that stuff. You just can't say he was on some MLK stuff and frown upon the olive branch that he was sending if he was asking you like, "Hey, we good?" Because you don't say so much about the group though. You said so much about the freaking group, man. I'm just being honest, brother. You said so much about the group. And then you come back and then it's almost like it's fresh beef. How can it be fresh beef? And you say he came on some MLK shit, Malachi. No, bro. That's not cool, man. You can't come back and get on the mic and hit this cat up. And you said he came on some MLK stuff. If he came on some MLK stuff and not the Expendables, why would you be mad at him? Because they responded to what you had to say on Twitter. There's no way, no how you should be mad if the encounter happened and he even offered you a drink, but yet you're returning home. And yes, stuff was said, but also I read the tweets that you sent out there too. And I can understand if he's saying, "Okay, well, I shook the man's hand, but he didn't, he's up here on Twitter reigniting what I think I squashed. I thought I put this to bed. I thought we was cool. I thought we was on the same accord, but I guess not." I just don't agree with it, man. I just don't agree with that shit at all because, if you admitted that he was on some MLK shit, some peaceful stuff, that he was just like trying to say, "Hey, let's stop this for good." Because at one time it seemed like you had mentioned on your live, you said, I'm not talking about the LDBC no more. It's done. It's over. And then you ramped it back up again. I don't know what that was about. But I guess your sole mission is for your audience to be an anti, LDBC type of chat. I guess I'm assuming. I'm not sure, bro. But when you finally meet the head of that organization in person, and you say he was on some MLK shit, why was that a bad thing, though? I'm just asking the question. Why was that a bad thing when you got, black people who are very aggressive toward one another? How in the hell can you downplay that shit like it was a bad thing, as if to say he wasn't about no smoke? See, that's where people die, man. That's where people get harmed. Because if somebody extend the olive branch on some peaceful stuff and they're a black man and you say they on some MLK stuff, you're disrespecting the what they offered you to begin with. You say, okay, after everything that you done said, that you're gonna end us, and you were sitting here strictly to destroy us and just focus all this negative energy towards us. Now we see you having us as a target. We're your target. So of course, when we see each other in person, it's supposed to be friction. It's supposed to be resistance between there, right? But if y'all both got in the same elevator and it was an olive branch extended, and you act like it was a soft ass move by somebody who you don't criticize for months and months and months, I have to question your mentality, bro. Like, what is this about? What is this really about? Like, if it's squashed, how can you come back here and talk about you killing them forever and a day? I don't understand why, though. Now I really don't understand why. Because I heard both of y'all say the same thing. He said he came to you and asked it, were we good? This, like brothers do. Are we good? We straight? And you came in here talking about he's on some MLK shit. That right there, to me, is an anchor that you don't want to straighten out anything. You know what I'm saying? You might have pretended that it was all cool between y'all in the moment. And then while you was up there on live trying to figure it all out. But then you turn around and act like, right, none of that shit mattered. I'm going to destroy y'all forever. Like, it's hard for me to mention other pieces because the pieces that I'm going to mention is people that I don't fuck with over there. But if you're mad at what they're saying, I'm gonna go on record as saying they have a right to speak and say what they can say. They don't have nothing to do with me. Because the reason I'm saying they have a right to say what they say, because y'all had a moment where y'all can put this to bed, and it happened that way. He even said on the live he wasn't really trying to get it, be locked up. He was there to support. He really wasn't trying to be in no other type of situation. So if he extended that offer to you in peace, it wasn't like he was punking out or bowing down. But you made it seem like, okay, you on some rah-rah shit. You on some vigilante, some Power Ranger shit all the time. You're gonna continue to you came back like it was renewed beef. Bro, I can't co-sign that. Real talk. It don't matter how I feel about certain members, in that group. I cannot co-sign that. And you might, tell me straight up, it ain't none of your business anyway. I get it. But a lot of this shit was across the internet. I sat there and watched your live, and I'm saying, damn, that'd be messed up if he was played and set up. Then, talk about the meet and the counter. And I wasn't really trying to process it because it really wasn't pressing me. It really wasn't on my mind like that. And then I talked to my guy. He reminded me a whole lot of shit that I wasn't even really paying attention to. And one thing he brought up was the Las Vegas situation. And he's right. He's absolutely right, man. You was antagonizing them when you was in Vegas saying all that, where's the Wakanda? And when you see those Wakandans, how you refer to them, now it becomes they was trying to mob. They was trying to press you. They was trying to dang group up. And look, in that particular situation, you encapsulated the entire group, including the person who started it. So you can't expect for them not to pull up. And from my understanding, what I was told, it was just you and him on the elevator. So if that was the case, you and him, mano a mano, face to face for the first time, and he came and extended the olive branch, brother. He was there for Bill Haney. Both of y'all was there for the same reason. And if he extended the olive branch to you, Malachi, and he wasn't on no Power Ranger shit. He wasn't on no rah-rah stuff. He wasn't on no disrespect. And then I understand where Nan gets a little fuzzy when he say you showed him the phone and you was showing KQKC. That's not for me to try to decipher. All I know is if the man extended an offering that included peace, what he was saying that, hey, we finally meet in living color. We here to support the same person. We have to coexist. But when you get back and settled in, and I'm seeing all this high energy, bro, I'm like, how can you have all that energy for a situation that you went back on Twitter before you even left NYC, as if the whole group is at fault for reigniting beef? That shit don't make no sense to me, bro. Like, you thought you had been set up and you didn't get no credential and Rick Glaser came through for you. I get it. But what stands out most to me is that MLK shit. I'm black. Ever since the second I was born. And when my people say that means they're trying to say you were soft. You came in there on some peacekeeping mission. You came in there to try to provide solace to the situation. And in this case, with all the criticism that's been going on, that was a good way to start, right? Nobody got locked up. Nobody was in handcuffs and them silver bracelets, right? Now I got to look at you a certain way and say, well, I don't think you want peace for these people. I think you want to base everything off your growth, off drama. Cause you came back and say you're gonna be at their throats forever. I'm like, huh? You just said the dude was on some MLK. Why would he be on some MLK shit face to face with you? And then all of a sudden, your blood pressure rise from the time you met. The fight went on the next day, and then you leave, get back to your quarters, safe and sound around your family. Everybody, big dog, everybody. You made it home safe, man. And you say you're gonna be going at them forever? You said for what? I don't get that, bro. Now I know it's certain people in there that that can rub people the wrong way. They're not even the conversation, the topic right now. I just don't goddamn agree with you, bro. I don't agree how you can be so angry when the actual founder you said came on some MLK shit. You're now subjected. The next time around, now you gotta be really shit. And he's saying that you went through your phone and showed KQKC messages and stuff like that. Hey, it's not up for me to be Inspector Gadget and try to decipher. I'm just on the MLK shit. That tells me as a black man, he came in peace. So nothing else after that is relevant. Because if members of the group felt some type of way, if you jump back on Twitter and you start talking shit about them, they should. It was a natural reaction. I get it, bro. It's a natural fucking reaction. They should feel some type of way. If 78 came at you on some MLK shit and that's what you said out your mouth, and then you jump online and start going on Twitter before you even left the arena, and they were saying you didn't leave your room and they was looking for you and all that, and that is the reason why you mad at them off something that you provoked, like use the antagonist, bro. Straight up, man. I got to be a man about that, man. Like that wasn't my situation to be a part of. But I'm just saying, I just felt some type of way if it was like, a group movement for something that should have been handled person to person. But yet, looking back at everything and hearing what I know now, from Bill not even putting you in play like that, it's just, Golden Boy was having problems. I mean, Golden Boy was denying certain individuals credentials. If you've been to fights on a consistent basis, that happens. For real, that happens. I ain't gonna lie to you. The realest, what's good? The funny is how they said he was scared to come out of his hotel room. Hey, man. At the end of the day, I just couldn't understand how the MLK stuff is wrong. You know what I'm saying? How can that be wrong after all the friction that was said, all the words, you know what I'm saying, all the criticism, the derogatory comments that was made from afar. So you take everything that's done afar, encapsulating an entire group to finally meet in person, and that particular person comes on some, we good? Yeah, we good. We straight. Everything's straight. Sometimes that means a lot more than having a whole conversation about everything that was said. That's when it goes left. But if you say, are we straight? Yeah, we straight, man. So it's left up to the two people that was involved to keep it straight, to keep it calm, peaceful, and everything else. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, if somebody was go back and get on live and say, yeah, I ran into him. We say he's straight. Yeah, he's straight. But he had this look on his face like he was scared and stuff. Then that's when that's out the window. I can see. But I don't. That didn't happen in this case. That didn't happen. I knew it was going to play out like this once everyone left Brooklyn. Well, I'm just looking at it like it don't make any sense to me. For real. It don't make any sense to me. Like, how can you be powered up with vengeance after you said he came on some MLK shit? So MLK is to be ridiculed and criticized? A leader? Someone that we talk about every year, all the time for Black history? Someone who was gunned down? Someone who has been on record as trying to keep a peaceful, going about situations peacefully back then? I mean, we know Malcolm X was a bit more aggressive and he had a low tolerance. He didn't say he was on some Malcolm X shit. He said he was on some MLK. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, YouTube boxing streets is a bunch of F-board shit, wasting energy about men boxers. All I'm talking about is I don't know why there's still beef. It's almost like in this YouTube game, people willing to sacrifice their real life for the life they're trying to portray on YTC. That's a problem. If you're trying to continue to keep your audience as a LDBC hate channel, then just say it. Just say that's what you're trying to do. If you don't get the amount of views you get, if you're not talking about them, then just let it be known. Hey, I'm gonna keep on. But just like my partner said, right? When you have to go to these fights, if this is what you plan on doing, then you may run into them sooner or later again. Now he or them not gonna be on some peacekeeping, some MLK stuff. That's all. I just didn't understand how you can be so pissed off at him when I thought, you was the one that was sending out the tweets before you even left, from my understanding. I don't understand what you would be so mad at, man. Like, it's almost like to renew something that doesn't need to be renewed. You know what I'm saying? You're renewing something that don't need to be renewed. For what? How can a group of cats have you like that? Like, I don't get it, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't get it, bro. It's a lot of serious things, but yeah. I have my criticism on a couple of people in that. I do. I always feel like it was in response to, in my defense. But this conversation ain't about me. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about me. I'm just saying, after being enlightened and reminded on some areas, you have been an antagonist in this situation for a long time, brother. I'm just keeping it down the middle, neutral, and not to push an ex parte narrative. I'm just saying, based off, what I remember now, you made it a whole entire effort to get off the plane in Vegas and say, where the Wakanda's at. And you mad about him coming to you on some MLK energy? That tells me right there, you don't want no peace for these cats, man. They didn't ask you to join the group. It's almost like you're going to try and try. If Bill wants you on the team, then you're going to see him again. You'll probably be more prepared the next time you see him. I get it, bro. But if you're still, trying to stay on Team Haney and Bill wanted you a part of the team, well, he ain't disbanding from the LDBC anytime soon. So I'm just saying, you wanna put out more hate content about something that supposedly was squashed over there face to face, and then come back all furious. I don't know what you're furious about. This is crazy. Andrew Charles on deck, man. What they do? This is crazy, bro. 13, what's good? He also said that after Haney got beat up, they were looking for dude to mop him up. Look, this is what I heard on that. Okay, you're right, 13. First of all, you're right. But he also said that they was looking for him based off the tweets that he sent out. He being 78 said the tweets that they seen, somebody sent him say, hey man, he on Twitter. Look what he's saying. Boom, 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 boom. That's when he made the comment that they went looking for him. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You just really gotta get an entire insight on this shit. And then before you get up here behind the mic, because I totally forgot about a lot of shit, but I wouldn't even really focus on that. First of all, I would just focus on the mentality. Like, it doesn't require a group mentality, but yes, if I think about it, it can require, because if a person's going at the entire group, and you run into the founder and he's on some peace, but some grown man shit, and you say, oh, he was soft. Hey man, it's up from there. You know what I'm saying? How do you expect somebody to react? It's just up. It's just, people get killed for less, man. But I'm just saying, like, you was right there. And he said that you was going to your phone talking about some KQKC was calling you. Then it gets a little fuzzy from there because you say it was a lie. And I don't know why he would bring it up then. Why would he say you going in there, you know, throwing KQKC under the bed? How would he come up? That's just like me and my guy Sean News coming up in Vegas and we at home. Like, what do we got to do with this? You're at home, man. He's in one other regional location and I'm over here in this regional location. You know, I mean, come on, bro. The only support fighters that give them access, W says, if Bill wasn't in the lives, they would treat Haney like Bud. Oh, yeah, for sure. I agree with that, Juice. You know what I'm saying? I agree with that. That's why, you know, Bill would never, you know, have me close because I would never allow myself to be close. You know what I'm saying, to that. You know, any group or anything. I'm just not that person. You know what I'm saying? I support who I support. I don't have no issue with how they do their shit, how Bill want to do that. All I'm saying is I felt some type of way if he ran a play to set somebody up, and he don't have to do that. He an OG. You know what I'm saying? He don't have to go to that extreme. He could have just said, okay, hey Malachi, 78 in the same hotel. It'll be cool if y'all both talk this out now. Because if you're gonna be on Team Haney, I'm gonna be with them. And if you on board, I'm see you too. We're gonna be as a unit. So we need to talk. I could see that. But they made it seem like Bill Haney ran a play. And that's what, listen to Malachi's live, you made it seem like I know what happened. I know why. It ain't gonna happen again. I know why. But when you end up, was this before or after you ran into him after in the hotel? I think that might have been after. You ran into him. So if you did the live after you and him met, he was on some MLK shit, it was no reason you to feel some type of way and say, Bill, okay, I remember now. He said Bill wasn't answering his phone. Yep. He said he wasn't answering the phone. Because he was wanting to call him for credentials. That's when he was trying to insinuate that he was set up because 78 was, you know, in the hotel. Yeah, it's all coming back. I hate how MLK gets associated with weakness when he was one of the bravest Americans to ever live. I agree, Andrew. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we end up in the cemetery. Because when we want to put our palms facing the person that's in front of us, say, hey, I don't want no problems. We good. It's not that you being a punk. It's that, hey, I have other priorities in my life right now. I have other priorities. I have other things that's more important than this right here. Or, you know, when some people, they eager to show you what their knuckles look like. They do. But I agree. I agree with you, Andrew. Shout out to Jessica the Queen in the building. Stu W says, I was catching up on Ghetto last live. Hey, man. Damn. You know, it's the YTC though, man. The symphony, man, they always up here. They playing a different tune, but it's always end up the same tune though. You know, they might switch up the instruments, but it's always the same tune sometime, man. I look, you rarely hear of a fight card of a group of people that we see frequently on the YTC attending a fight card of a champion, a championship fight card, and there's no content coming out per the fighter, but the content is pretty much based off individuals seeing each other in the hotel on fight day. I mean, it's much more to be involved with. You're supposed to be there to get the fighter, exposure, put out content on your social media platforms. I just don't see it, man. I'm against them forever. They want to see another black man strip down to the nude, calling black folks hard R's and monkeys. Fuck the entire LDBC. I see where you at with it. Listen, you say that to me, like, don't get it twisted. I'm giving you a synopsis. I mean, a summation. I don't feel no type of way on what you say. That's your opinion. I'm not gonna sit up here and defend it. I'm speaking as I always do. I give reactions to shit. I'm not gonna lean one way or the other. I understand where you at with the monkeys and the herbs on the end. I get it. I was called one of them. That's why I feel, that these, a couple of them, they do what they do, but I'm not trying to make this about me. I'm trying to keep it on the person that has been going extremely heavy. I see where you at with it, Juice. I see where you at with it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of areas that doesn't have innocence attached to it. But yet, in this particular situation, if you feel that way after the meeting in the elevator, what pissed you off after that to get on Twitter if they was over there minding their own business over there with going to the fight? Where did all this shit come from? I don't get it. Where all of it come from all of a sudden? The resurgence, the regeneration of vitriol. Where did it all come from on a small ass fight weekend, man? When Devin's going in there to defend his title. Where did all this come from? Like, how did you get pissed back off to go on Twitter and talk about him? I don't get it, bro. I'm not defending no side. I'm not defending the LDBC. I'm not defending freaking Malachi. But I just, when he said he was on some MLK and you say you was a Muslim at one point in time, you should understand how black people are supposed to work together. I mean, you're a black man in society. I'm not trying to kick no knowledge because, that's what they say. You trying to kick some knowledge? Huh? You trying to kick some knowledge? Damn, somebody from the LWC took Coach Girl back in the day. That's why he beefing with him. Something I can't understand, bro. Like, how can the vengeance be renewed once you get back to Florida and it ain't too much went on? It's hard for me to gather, man. It's hard for me to fathom. Hold on for a second. They're willing to hurt another man just because some dude lost and they literally start crying. Well, like I said before, I'm not here to defend whatever they had going on after Devin lost. I heard them specifically say somebody told him that he was back on Twitter talking shit about him. That's what I seen. I just didn't hear, oh, we're going to go mop the floor with him just because Devin lost. Nah, that's not what I heard, bro. Brown says 70 also switched up his story on live stream today and added some new stuff. Hey, it's going to go back and forth, dog. Hey, I expect people to be in the chat that don't agree with the whole situation. I'm not here to become law and order for this situation. If it's public record, all I do sometimes is speak on it. And you have the right to listen to my opinion or unlisten. That's it. I just think it was BS. Like I don't understand how it can be regenerated. I mean, I'm talking about hardcore animosity, vitriol, venom. Where did the venom, what caused it to regenerate if they're showing that you, if there's somebody from the group go on Twitter and talk shit first? Because all I saw was your tweets. Once Devin lost, I saw Malachi tweets where they were showing when Devin lost as the rubber in their face. That's all. If somebody got some other information, that's what it is. But that's what I seen. And I expect some certain people to go over here and ask questions on a different account. Listen, if I feel that you come over here on a different account and you asking all these questions and you not come over here under your account, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna really, give you that attention that you're looking for. Um, Let me see, people. Let me see, because somebody said They're meeting in the elevator. Someone said he was back on Twitter. No, it wasn't. It wasn't, immediately, after he met in the elevator. No, he was on live that time. He was on live at the time, bro. And I'm just speaking on the overlay. I'm not going in to find details minute for minute because I wasn't there, period. But he was on live talking about what he thought had happened. He said he know what happened. He thought he was set up or something. He thought Bill did this, that, and the other. He was letting it be known. He thought the play was in. That's all. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. No, they don't stop it. At the end of the day, nobody would never know what happened between those two. It is what it is, so move on. I feel you, man. Time because I'm just retired Navy 25 years, served 54. I mean, I'm just retired Navy 25 years, 54 years, know a little about real beef, just like WCS. This ish ain't it. I think it has a little bit of realness to it. I understand where you at with it, JB. You know what I'm saying? But you have to understand the layers of real has changed from meeting people in person to online internet, where people have the comfort of being behind the mic and knowing they ain't never planning on going to cover a fight. So they'll sit on here and rah and talk and bark from inside the fence because they never plan on going. And they'll see certain people out here covering fights all the time, and they don't worry about that. They'll sit here and talk because, most of the time if they do show up, they purchase a ticket and they're gonna be in the stands. They're not really worried about actually being around other media because they're not covering fights all the time like that. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I see from being on deck. But this is definitely not a conversation that I'm gonna take an extremely amount of time. I just felt like, this is something that didn't require my presence. But when you're on this YouTube shit, man, some of this stuff some of this stuff requires a reaction because you think to yourself like, no, it couldn't happen like that. No, it couldn't happen like this. You know what I'm saying? People are gonna defend who they defend. They can come over here and defend Malachi. They gonna defend LDBC. I'm not over here defending either one of them. All I'm doing is speaking from a perspective. Like earlier, I just thought, it was out of pocket to be somewhat grouping up on one person, regardless of what he said. But then I thought about it, and then I was being reminded of all the stuff he said. I said, "You're right. He has been going at this for several upon several years." And you can't stop, certain people like, in the street life for real. People want to be in the streets. You know what I'm saying? The street life, it takes no prisoners. Sometimes they don't ask questions. The conversations being had is with an object that's used to having a monologue most of the time. That's the dangerous part about it. Real talk. It's not just black people. It's people in general. It's not just black people. It's all people. We're not just going to talk about the YTC as if it encompasses 50% of the populace globally. No. We're talking about people in general all over the world. Put their business out here on YouTube, social media all the time. It ain't got nothing to just do with black people. What you talking about? Shit don't make no sense. But y'all hold it down, man. Appreciate y'all for supporting the channel as always. Shout out to the hottest chat in MF and game. I'm not leaving no parting words for any of that. I just felt it was my accountability that this is something that didn't have nothing to do with me, but I definitely do reactions on shit. You know what I'm saying? Because, You know, it's some of this shit is interesting and some of it ain't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, black people have most to lose. It's dependent on what is the severity of what the loss is. You know, what's the risk, first of all? Yeah, if you want to talk about black people, what are the black people risking? What is the topic? Is the topic worth anything? You know, what are they risking? Is it personal? Is it business? Does it have to do with somebody's channel? What? You know what I'm saying? What are we talking about? To just, you know, narrow it down to black people. We have to find out, what is it exactly? You know what I'm saying? What is the risk? To say we have the most to lose. What are we what are we risking, and what is the value of the lost? What are we talking about? People's family? What we talking about? Racism? What are we talking about? For you to say that we have the worst, most to lose. I don't understand that. Just elucidate a little bit. Just clear it up a little bit for me. What are we talking about? What are we talking about exactly? 2 minutes, man. What are we talking about? We have the most to lose. Why? In what case? What risk are you talking about? We have the most to lose, because everybody has access. You know what I'm saying? That has an account. They know how to log in. They know how to create. They know how to go about the format of doing live streams. They know what their topic is going to be about. Some of them have enough wherewithal to know how to engage their audience, whatever that audience may be. Everybody's audience is not the same. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't engage their audience unless they super chats. A lot of people don't go from comment to comment to comment. They only read the super chats and keep on talking and then get off. So what is the risk for us to lose something? That's all I want to know. A shout out to the News by Shaw News. Great interview earlier. You know what I'm saying? Continue to drop that sauce, man. Shout out to the hitters, man. Andrew Charles, I appreciate you pulling up. Carlos Rosado, you know what I'm saying? Juice in the building. You know, Town Business, Sports and Entertainment, man. Continue to do your thing out there. And we should do it again. I'm out. Peace.